So there's that very famous saying, very famous quote by Mike Tyson. I think it was Mike Tyson. He said, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth or punched in the face. You get the idea. Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face. We'll see how that plan survives its collision with reality. But here's the problem. Here's the problem. What happens when you don't have any plan? You're already bleeding and beat up, and then Mike Tyson punches you in the face. It's like, I was already in a real bad way, and now I'm in a really, really bad way. So stuff's extra, extra, extra worse. Now, I dislike labels. I dislike when people put me in a category. I'm sure that you do too. I'm sure that you don't like that. Like, oh, there's Steve. He fits inside this box. Nobody likes that. Same thing goes with lanes. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Well, if I have something that I want to talk about, I'm going to talk about it. But if I did have a lane, it would be obviously about personal finance and money stuff. And so this has been on my mind, so I'm going to talk about it. It's not like the first time that I've talked about it. I talk about it all the time. But really seems like right now we are talking about everything else other than what we really need to be talking about. And that's just my perspective, which again is why I am talking about it. So in 2017, the end of 2017, IRS looked back or whatever, however it shook out, Americans paid $5.7 billion in early withdrawal fees, penalties, from taking money out of qualified plans prematurely. So, take money out of your 401k, you're going to pay a 10% penalty. All right? Then you're going to pay tax on that money also. So it's this double whammy. Not supposed to do that. The government gives us qualified plans because they want us to be saving money for our futures. So they're not totally responsible for us. So again, in 2017, we took out $5.7 billion. I'm sorry, we paid $5.7 billion in penalties. How much is it this year? Well, we are not paying penalties this year for early withdrawals because part of the CARES Act waived that 10% penalty, allowed for withdrawals from your qualified plans. Okay? So this is an example right here of Americans not being in a position, so already bleeding, and then getting punched in the face by COVID. We were already in a bad situation. 2017, many of us were in bad situations. Today, going into 2020, whatever the number is, way too many of us living paycheck to paycheck. Way too many of us are broke, because that's what living paycheck to paycheck is you are broke. You don't have any money. And then this happens, and you still don't have any money, but now you need it badly, and so you tap into your 401k plan. Fortunately, you are not paying the penalty, 10% of any money that comes out, but what's going to happen next year is you're going to get that tax bill, and it's going to be another punch in the face because you're not going to have the money to pay it. So it's just face punch after face punch after face punch after face punch. Now I get it. Certainly nobody saw 2020 coming. And I have no idea what you got going on in your life. Maybe you got COVID. Maybe you have family members that are sick or that have died. Whatever. I empathize. Don't think that I don't. But that's what this life is all about, is positioning ourselves for success no matter what gets thrown at us, because we never know what's going to be coming next. We don't know where the next punch is going to be coming from. I want you to be able to enjoy financial prosperity. I want you to move towards financial prosperity. Zero chance of doing that if you're never going to achieve financial security. Got to get there first. Got to get to financial security first. For gosh sakes, I need you to get to financial security and on the path to financial prosperity. I need you to, you need you to, we all need each other to do that. Otherwise, we are effed, man, lady. Think about everything that's now happened. Before this happened, we were broke, living paycheck to paycheck. Broke. This happens. We punch ourselves in the face after getting punched in the face by taking money out of our long-term retirement savings plan. Will you ever be able to recover from that? If you had 100 grand in, you took out 50. Would you be able to make that up? I don't know. Time is a really important thing. But again, next year, you're going to owe tax on that. All the money you took out, you're going to owe tax on. Income tax. And then let's look at what's happening to the country. We were already limping along. Huge deficits, all of it. Budget deficits, just our national debt skyrocketing. There's that website I haven't talked about in a while, the National Debt Clock. Terrifying. I think that I'm going to go look at that after I'm done with this. Encourage you to go look at it. It's like nationaldebtclock.com or something like that. Just Google it. And the screen just sort of vibrates with all the different debts that we have, and it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But we just punched ourselves in the face through all the stimulus. And so our debt is just skyrocketing. And it's not going to be okay. This problem is not going to go away. It's not going to take care of itself. We're going to find ourselves in the same situation that countries like Greece were, that countries like, really you name it. Countries like Japan found themselves and still find themselves in. And people think that we can just continue to, because our economy keeps growing. Well, what happens when it slows down or it stops growing? We're not always going to be able to just come out of this and tax our way out of it. But that's certainly coming too. So, the series of getting punched in the face, of punching ourselves in the face individually, as families, as communities, and then as a country, saddling ourselves with more and more debt, it's a problem that we need to look in the mirror and recognize that you and I are the ones that are going to be responsible for fixing this. You and I are the ones that need to take responsibility for changing this. Because again, it's just not going to fix itself. So whatever it is that you're focused on, if you flip on CNN or Fox or wherever else you get your news, there is going to be all kinds of stuff going on in the world right now. It's climate change, it's fires, it's racism, it's Russia meddling in our elections, it's China, it's a million things other than an absolute deterioration and disappearance of personal financial responsibility by the majority of Americans. And this might not be in the news right now because there might be shinier things to be paying attention to, but rest assured, this will be in the news more and more and more and more and more. The only way to fix it is for you to take care of your own situation, to clean up your own room, to make sure that your yard is taken care of. We tend to the parts of our garden that we can reach. So, whatever it is you're spending your time thinking about and focusing on, I encourage you to take a giant step back. Whether you're doing great financially or you're doing terribly financially, take a big step back right now. Check your perspective. Check your priorities. What's most important to you? What's most important for your family? And are your consumption habits, is your lifestyle aligned to that? Make sure that it is. If it's not, start making changes. Stop caring what anybody else is doing. Stop caring what anybody else thinks of you. Do the things that you need to be doing to get financially successful. Because we don't have time. You and I don't have any time for this. We're going to keep getting punched in the face. I feel like Mike Tyson's making that comeback, and there's going to be more stuff coming along punching us in the face. One of my favorite other quotes is that there are 1,000 hacking at the branches of evil to 1 striking at the root. It's a lot of crap going on in the world and a lot of people striking at the branches, hacking at the branches. When you need to get down to the root problems, the root causes, whatever is ailing you, whatever is stopping you and your family from achieving financial security and moving towards financial prosperity. Because that's all that matters. Do your part by doing your best.